To conclude the debate, I give the floor to the rapporteur, Sophie and Veld.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, colleagues, for a very interesting debate and all the support. I would just like to briefly say to that side of the House, which has largely disappeared incidentally, I've heard a lot of hysterical language about dictatorships and imposing values, tyranny, submission, treason. I would just like to point out that 28 countries decided to join the European Union voluntarily. They signed up to the treaties voluntarily. And the treaties, that includes Article 2. Now, for those who've read the articles, Article 1 in the treaties basically says, hello everybody, and then Article 2 is about what we are all about as a European Union, a community of values. And the irony is that we have doted the European Union with the instruments to enforce all the other policy areas. You know, competition policies, police and justice cooperation, foreign policies and what have you. But our core values are not protected by instruments that are sufficiently strong to make sure that the values are upheld throughout the European Union. Now, I very much concur with what Commissioner Timmermans just said. It's all about the objectives and not so much about the means. But I do hope that I misunderstood when I thought I heard you say in your initial presentation that you think that the existing tools are sufficient. Because there I disagree, and I think that has been echoed by everybody in the House. And I think that we all expect that the mechanism that you have triggered against the Polish government is not, unfortunately, not going to lead to an improvement in the situation in Poland. Nobody expects that by the end of this week the Polish government is going to say we're going to follow up on your recommendations. I would have hoped that they would, but they're probably not going to do that. So we do need a mechanism that has a preventative arm that applies to all the member states. I think that is really a key principle. And also in response to your question, yes, I do think it should be on a regular, preferably an annual basis, and not being incident driven, because if it's incident driven, then there's the inherent risk that decisions to intervene will be politically motivated, and we want to avoid that. One final remark about the panel of independent experts. I hear people expressing concerns about this. I would recommend people read the text, because it's very clear that the lead is with the European Commission. The European Commission will adopt the annual report, but it will do so in consultation with the panel of independent experts that will be partly nominated by the member states and partly by the European Parliament. And finally, I would like to remind the Commission that, and the colleagues, that it's not as if we're reinventing the wheel. We already have the Justice Scoreboard, the Corruption Report, the CVM for Bulgaria and Romania, the Media Pluralism Monitor, the Fundamental Rights Report, the reports on access to documents, the Schengen evaluations, etc., etc., etc. These mechanisms also include panels of independent experts and country-specific recommendations. So we're not inventing something new. I'm looking forward to the proposal of the European Commission. I hope that we can have a constructive dialogue, as we've had inside this House with the political groups, the same dialogue between the institutions, and come up with something that will really serve democracy, the rule of law and fundamental rights throughout the European Union. Thank you.
Vielen Dank. Thank you very much. That closes the debate. The vote will take place today at 1200 hours. Moving on now to the next item of business. That is Council and Commission statements, internal security in the